Hello everyone, TR2000 here. As promised, I'd go over the models I made this year. And let's start with the Railway series. First is Winston. A red engine. Of course, the red engine we see in the early illustrations. I figured I'd make him a Dean's Goods. Something small, not too strong, but something old-fashioned. Next up is Thomas. I made him using a Hornby J83. All I had to do was extend the front tanks, paint him blue. And although he's not perfect, he's a little tall. I like him. I like the sandbox. The smoke box has the slope sandbox. So he is a nice little engine. Probably the best shunting engine I have because he's an 060. And I do love him. He is a really nice shunter. Up next is my second favorite model, but my favorite character. Of course, I mean Edward. I mean, who doesn't love Edward? Look at this boy. Edward was made using a brand new Hornby T9 with the tender chassis from a Great Western 5300. The tender is from the T9. I had to cut it, glue it, put it back together. And I did have to wire it. Those wires right there coming out of the cab were the tender wires. I need to work on them, make them just a little bit shorter so they don't poke out. But, you know, he is my favorite boy. Yeah, they're taped right now. They're not the best, but I'll fix it later. Yeah, Edward was given gold decals because, you know, he deserves it. Who doesn't? You know, he's clearly the most deserving of the gold. And next is Henry. I made him using a rebuilt Patriot. And if I'm honest, I hate this model. It is old, it's not a good runner, it doesn't go in reverse, so I'm not a fan. Up next is Gordon, the big boy. Much like Edward, I gave him the golden handrails, golden caps. I do want to modify this. It's just the standard A1 cheap Flying Scotsman. I want to give him a double chimney, some smoke deflectors, kind of like Tornado has, if I am correct. But you know, he's not perfect, but I do love the boy. And let's go over my favorite model to make. Of course, I mean James. Look at this dude. Look at him. He was made using a Aerofix 4F with extended front buffers, wheels, and cab from the same 5300 I used the tender chassis for Edward. The funnel, however, is from a Spark Shot Thomas. And the rest is really just the Aerofix. I mean, look at him. He's gorgeous pulling those express coaches. I do love running him. He is so smooth. Up next is everyone's favorite green caterpillar. I made Percy using a Smoky Joe. I shortened the boiler where it ends behind the water tank and put the cab forward enough so I could have a homemade coal bunker. So now Percy can actually have a bunker with coal in it. The lamp I took from my old Heisler. I'm sad to say it crapped the bed, so Percy gets it, and it does look nice. Next is Duck. He is also a poor runner. I do plan on getting a new 5700, like I do plan on getting a Black 5 for Henry. He waddles, shakes, skips, everything a model shouldn't do, Duck does, but he keeps going. Not like Henry. And speaking of Great Westerners, here's Oliver. Yes, I did buy Dillon Douglas. I live in America. They are on their way. Anyways, much like Duck, I didn't mention, but he does have red lining. I do love this boy. He also skips. Not like Motor, but he like jumps up and down. But he is a good runner. The spring under the cab needs to be readjusted. And here is Bear. Not done. I need to put the plastic back in, but he is a looker. I got Bear at a railway show in Massachusetts. Yeah, I got very lucky. Anyways, he is a good little boy. Good Christian boy. And then there's these two little cheeky bastards. I use them making Bachman Bill and Bens. Yes, I know they're not size accurate, but I really did not want to figure out how to wire myself some Bill and Bens. But I did do blue lining instead of red because I think it looks better in white lettering. It looks very nice, especially for these two. Who knows what chaotic trouble they could get into. And the last Railway Series character I've done is Ginty. I really wanted to work Ginty in, but I didn't leave a place to squeeze him in. So I figured he'd be bought by the Soto-China clay pits to transport clay farther than Bill and Ben ever could. It makes him fit, and it let me paint him in what I think is a beautiful blue for Ginty. Reminds me of Somerset and Dorset blue. Now, since this is my own headcanon to my Railway series, here is my own engines. Doc, a small 06 shunter that helps out on the Kirk Ronan branch line, with Lady and my number 13, a box tank. Very simple repaint and very cheap model. He's not done. I need to put the glass back in, then he'll be done. And he is quite a good shunter. I have no complaints with him at all. Figured I'd put a little red stripe into the cab and his name. Speaking of Lady, here she is. I made Lady using a Great Western 101, shortened it, and gave her the number 98. She runs the Kirk Ronan branch, and she does quite well with 3 coaches. She was very simple, and she's my smallest engine so far. I have no complaints. Andrew, my personal favorite original character. Fast, strong, sleek. Everything James wishes he was. Yeah, hint, hint, for future, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, but I do love the V2s. And here's my pride and joy, the Irish boy. TH, based off an Irish 355 class. He is a 260, and he is very nice. I made him using the same Aerofix 4F I used to build James. New boiler, new funnel, sloped the running board. So since I used the same models for their bases, would you say they're brothers? Tell me in the comments. Neville, the Q1, Britain's strongest 060, and what I think is a nice looking engine. Yeah, you can say they're ugly, but with black and gold, he's pretty nice. No complaints, especially when he's got a little golden ladder on his ass. Oh, the engine that everyone loves, Arthur. If he was an NFT, people would be stealing him, because I have gotten multiple comments. They want Arthur. And you know what? You can't have him. He is mine. I love this model, but the wheels do have a few issues. The front wheel can separate, meaning it can jam if I'm not careful with the speed. Carroll. I love this engine. A Great Western 4200. A 280 tank engine. I got it cheap off Amazon. $100. Best $100 spent. Strong mainline tank engine. Because with a mainline as short as the NW has, who needs a tender engine? Lucy, the station pilot. One of the original Wellsworth and Sudbury engines. She was found years later and works as station pilot. I love 242 wheel arrangements. They are my favorite. I just love the tank engines. I just wish there was a tender engine 242. Swan, a Great Western 6100. A simple repaint black with gold lining. You can't really beat it. It's very nice looking. He's an old model, but he does run surprisingly well. And he is nice to shunt with, although he is just a bit too big. The 3 non-customs. I know, I didn't really do anything with them. But do you blame me? First, La France. I use her as Alice because, look at it. It's beautiful. I don't dare repaint it. It would be a shame. Everyone's favorite, Silverlink. Or Spencer. In fact, I actually didn't want to buy this. But my mother loves the A4s. I know, my mother does. A 9F. Found it on Amazon. $95, I think. I love 9Fs, but I hate Murdoch, so. And the last one, Proteus. I know. You weren't expecting to see Proteus. I bet you didn't even know I had Proteus. Don't be surprised. I guess you could say he's also just a random engine. I know I didn't do say handle, but come on. Really? A repaint? Give him something else. So I made him a Hunslet. He is one of the 3D print ones that sit on a Kato 109 chassis. Rather nice. All the music was by UpsideNow. Honestly, the best music. Without a doubt. You gotta go watch him. Listen to everything he says. Play his music, play his videos. It's just great. What are you doing? You still here? Go. Why are you watching my shit still? He's so much better. Go watch him now.